So far away, Lucas, what are we talking about today?
We're talking about the man that can kill anything in one punch.
One Punch Man. So Lucas, as you often do, would you like to let the lovely audience at home know what the topic of today's Wikipedia weekend conversation is about?
Yeah, so as we mentioned in the intro, we're talking about One Punch Man himself, Saitama.
Yes, and we'll be referring specifically to the One Punch Man Wiki, which is a thing that exists, and we'll start, as we often do, at the beginning. So we'll start with here. Oh god, this is playing a video. Don't put auto playing videos on your website, so you suck ass. So, name, Saitama. And we have here aliases, Caped Baldy or Bald Cape. Race, human. Gender, male. Age, 25. Status, alive. Well, no shit. I thought you were going to kill him. Because I'm guessing this, oh yeah, this might have spoilers for the webcomic. If people don't know, One Punch Man is a webcomic. That's then turned into a super ultra mega detailed like manga.
Yeah.
So have you ever seen the comparison between what the original webcomic looks like and what the manga looks like?
No, I've not.
Oh, it's ridiculous. You know that, like the famous image of like the Saitama saying okay?
Yeah, yeah.
And it's like the stick figure basically.
Yeah.
It's like the complete, like, that's what the original webcomic looks like.
Oh, wow.
And then they got in this sick, awesome artist who made it look like it does now. It's fucking great anyway. And we have here just a short list of abilities, which includes immeasurable physical prowess, supernatural reflexes, invulnerability, indomitable will, shockwave generation, and non-physical interaction. Status, occupation, a hero and a teacher. And then we have rank, C-class, rank 342, C-class, rank 5, B-class, rank 7, and then spoilers, A-class, rank 39, which is in the current webcomic art.
Oh, okay.
And we have affiliation, Saitama Group, the Hero Name Victims Association, and the Heroes Association, and his partner is Genos. And then just to get us started, we'll start with a quote from Saitama himself, which is that he's just a guy who's a hero for fun. Before we continue, Lucas, what are your thoughts on Saitama and just the One Punch Man series in general?
The One Punch Man series, like, I didn't take very seriously for the first few episodes, and then you get to watch it and go, oh my god.
Yeah. It's a very silly concept, admittedly, but that's why it works.
Yeah.
And it's a series about a guy who ends every fight in one punch, which sounds on the surface very boring. But I like how the comic and the manga and the TV show, they explore, well, what would that be like? What would having unlimited power be like? And it's very, very boring. And you see that in Saitama, like, he's just bored. Like, he never has a challenge ever. And you're like, I think in one of the early episodes of the series, where like he dreams about just having a fight that he actually enjoys, and he's so happy, and then he wakes up and he's like, oh.
Yeah.
And he's just really sad. And he's like, oh man, that sucks ass.
Because he keeps beating people in one punch, and then he's just like, oh, really? Really?
Again. And even in like the final episode of the anime where like, Lord Boros turns up, he's like, finally I get to have a good fight. And he ends it in one punch. It's like, oh god! It's like, you know that twist is coming.
Yeah.
But you hope, just like Saitama, you hope for a little bit. Maybe this fight won't end with one punch being thrown and then it'll win. And then it does. And you're like, oh god damn it, not again. And you feel as frustrated as Saitama. But like, it's carried by the humour and the writing, and two, like the quality of the animation.
It is, yeah.
And the quality of the drawings in the manga and the animation of the first series. Did you ever hear about the second series of One Punch Man and how much it sucks ass?
Basically, I just got told, do not watch it.
Yes. So if anyone out there is a fan of this series, like, watch the first season, it's fucking great. And then the second season, what happened was, the people, I'm not sure which company was behind animating the first season, but they did a fucking phenomenal job. And every frame of every fight scene in that season is an immaculate work of art.
Oh, it's great.
They said, oh, if you want us to animate a second season, it's going to take 3 years because we've got a lot of shit on our plate and we're that good. And the company's like, nah. Just farm it out to a shitty company who'll do it faster.
Oh, God.
Even though the whole reason the first season was successful is the quality of the art style and how good the animation looks. For example, take that first sparring session he has with Genos, and the music kicks in, and you have the long, lingering, like almost pornographic shot of all the machinery in Genos' arms activating as he flies at like the speed of sound. And then you have like the humour of him like scanning the environment. You just see Saitama jogging at like 100 miles an hour.
Yeah.
It's just so perfect. We're getting back to the wiki. We'll start with appearance. Appearance, Saitama is an ordinary looking, bald man with a thin but well-built physique. Yeah, no shit.
Yeah.
Like, one of my favourite things about that first season is, I think they call it serious Saitama mode. And there's two ways they draw him. They either draw him as regular Saitama, like, you know, bald, goofy-looking Saitama.
Yeah, yeah.
And then when he means business and he says it's serious Saitama, it's like his eyes narrow. And they draw him like the most defined, chiseled physique you have ever seen. It's like, oh my god, what is this man? Like in the Heroes Association tryouts, where he just stood. And then it's like, okay, go. And he just goes, and just turns serious Saitama, just like completes everything in 1 second.
Yeah.
Like, what's your favourite part of that bit?
Oh, God.
Like, there's multiple jokes in that section. I think mine's always side-to-side hops. And it just scans across to Saitama and there's just a blur. Because he's just doing like a million side-to-side hops in 30 seconds. Like, oh, okay.
I think I just love the fact that he does really poor on the IQ test, so they all shit on him for being like a C rank. It's like, you guys do know he beat every fucking physical record we've ever had.
Yeah, it's like the one, we're going to test your jumping ability, and he just smash cuts to his head buried in the ceiling because he jumps too high. So good. Personality. Saitama is an indifferent person. Even the mightiest foes pose no challenge to him, so he does not take his hero work seriously. He goes through everything with little to no effort and yearns for an opportunity that can provide him with a real challenge. This lack of worthy opponents has caused Saitama to suffer from a self-imposed existential crisis, and he claims that his inability to feel any and all emotions has dulled considerably.
Oh no.
The combination of his attitude, unstoppable power, and unimpressive appearance often causes battles to become anticlimactic. Saitama will usually allow his opponents to rant about their motives and power up to their strongest forms before obliterating them with a single punch. Yeah, that's pretty much, you know what, that's the plot of the show. That's the plot of the show right fucking there. It's so good.
And it sounds so stupid, but it's done so well for the idea.
And it never stops being good because the quality of the animation, like, people out there who maybe not have seen the show thinking, like, how can a show where the main character beats everyone in a single punch be so good? It's like, you're not seeing how immaculately animated that single punch is.
Yeah.
Like, fuck it, because like you can't really spoil this show. Because like, again, the spoiler is in the name of the show. Yeah. The very final fight of season 1 against Lord Boros, where Lord Boros does, what is it, like the universe raw galactic cannon?
Something stupid like that.
You have like a solid 20 seconds of him charging up this final flash looking ultimate attack, and Saitama just does one punch. But it splits the atmosphere of the entire planet in half. You're like, oh my god, what? Saitama, no! No! And Lucas, did you ever see the game they made about One Punch Man?
The only thing I even heard about it was you talking about the game.
Okay, so if people don't know, there is a game of One Punch Man, a fighting game. One Punch Man, a hero nobody knows. And it's not great, it's very cheaply made, but the one gimmick that I really like about it is that they put Saitama in it. And in the lead up to release, people are saying, how do you put Saitama in this game? Why would you not just pick Saitama? Because he wins everything in one fight. Because they confirmed before, like they explained how Saitama worked, like how he would appear in the game, that yeah, he is as strong as he is in the show and in the comics.
Yeah.
And I was like, well, how is that fair? Why would you not just pick Saitama? And I think the way they implemented Saitama in that game is so fucking clever, because it's a 3-person fighting game, and if you pick to have Saitama on your team, Saitama doesn't appear straight away, and you have to fight with your remaining 2 characters, and Saitama is just on his way. And in the bottom of the screen, throughout the entire match, is just a timer saying Saitama is on his way. And it's just a little shot throughout the entire match, of him just jogging towards the fight. And if he turns up, you win. So your opponent has to beat you before the time's up when Saitama arrives. And if they can't, they lose, because Saitama rocks up. And if they can beat you down hard enough, it puts the timer off. But it's really good, as the Saitama gets closer, just like a warning appears, Saitama is approaching, you have to win now. It's just the idea, though, that Like, just a constant reminder at the bottom of the screen, Saitama's coming, you better win now, because if he does, he's going to knock you out. Abilities and powers. Saitama is the titular One Punch Man and is the strongest, fastest, most durable character in the series. So far, no enemy has been able to injure him in any way, and almost no enemy has been able to survive a single earnest punch. A few enemies have survived punches from him, such as any human he has struck, whom he restrains himself against, and Boris, who Saitama empathised with and held back against so as to give himself and Boris a satisfying and stimulating fight. It says here, Saitama's only power is that his body is far beyond human limits, allowing him to achieve astounding physical feats. His strength is so great that it vastly eclipses even artificial beings designed or bred specifically for superhuman combat.
Yeah,
Since no enemies have posed any real challenge to Saitama yet, the upper bound of his strength is likely even higher than it currently appears. However, his power is only limited to heightened human traits, so he cannot fly or fire energy blasts. Which I like, where there's that moment in the show where it's like, oh, we need to get to this location.
Yeah.
And Saitama's like, okay, let's go. He goes, are you not going to fly? I can't fly. I just run.
Yeah.
And he smash goes in just running really fast. I fucking love that, it's so dumb. The origins of Saitama's immense strength are mysterious and unclear, although he tells everyone he got his incredible power through mere physical training, although no one believes him. And Lucas, do you remember what Saitama's training regime is?
I believe so. So it's like, what, 100 push-ups, 100 sit-ups, 100 squats, and a 10-kilometre run every day.
That is exactly correct, yes. He has achieved some level of superhuman strength during this, but it says here that nobody believes that he did this.
Yeah.
This training was apparently so intense for Saitama that he at times felt he might die and claims that that is what caused all his hair to fall out.
Oh, God.
So, can you imagine, Lucas, doing so many squats your hair falls out? Like, how much exercise are you doing for your hair to fall out?
I don't know, but it's a lot.
I just love it that I did so many squats, my hair fell out. And we'll move down to the next subheading, which is just a list of his physical abilities. And do you want to guess what the first one is? The first listed ability of Saitama?
Is it to kill everything in one punch?
Yeah, it's his unparalleled strength. Saitama possesses seemingly limitless physical strength and is capable of effortlessly defeating powerful monsters and villains with a single, nonchalant punch. Saitama's punch is so powerful that many enemies simply explode when struck. Yeah.
Yeah.
Which is why some of the best parts of the entire show.
Oh.
Where he just punches an enemy and they just explode. It's like, yeah, there's the budget right there. And we're going to spend all this budget in one shot. How do you do that? BAM! So he's also shown to be able to effortlessly destroy walls and buildings. An example of this casual yet overwhelming offensive power occurs when Saitama launches himself from the top of a building, blasts right through a city-sized meteor with a punch, lands safely, and just calmly decides to go home. Yeah, that happened. Another instance is when Speed of Sound Sonic tried to slice Saitama's head in half with a steel sword, but Saitama stops the sword by catching it in his teeth, effortlessly shattering the blade with the power of his jaw.
Holy shit.
Which is something that's impressive until you realise that Majima can do it in Yakuza.
Oh yeah, he can just catch swords in his mouth.
Do you remember? Yeah. Of course he can.
Yeah.
Majima is as good as Saitama, confirmed. Basically what follows that is just a list of all the various punches he throws throughout the season. And although how he defeats every enemy in one punch. Now, the next section is Enhanced Leap. So his inability to fly is somewhat compensated by his immense, and it says the word immense, leg strength, allowing him to leap tremendous heights and distances at high speeds. Yeah.
Yeah, fair enough.
Right, the best example being when he jumps off the moon.
Yeah, he jumped from the moon back to Earth.
Yeah, leaving a massive hole in the moon from the power of his leap. Shockwave generation. As shown in his practice bout with Genos, Saitama can control and direct his power in the form of a massive shockwave that comes from his punches. It says here that he uses this to show Genos a glimpse of his true power, but stops just before actually punching him, with the shockwave from the attack completely annihilating the mountain behind him. Which again is one of those shots that is just like, yeah, this is where the money went.
Yeah, yeah.
And like the zoom out shot and you just see the entire mountain behind is obliterated. Isn't that the same way Hit fights?
That is one of the techniques Hit uses in Dragon Ball, yeah.
Yeah, like Hit in Dragon Ball fights in a similar manner, where he has no energy projection abilities, but he throws a punch so fast that the air just gets compressed and shot forward like a bullet. And he can use it to hit pressure points. That's so fucking cool.
And he just uses it to kill Goku in like one shot.
It says he has immense psychic resistance because Fubaki noted that Saitama is virtually immune to any and all psychic attacks. It's noteworthy that his muscles merely twitched when Tatsumaki So that's the young tornado girl. Used her psychic powers on him. And she wasn't able to keep him up in the air for more than a few seconds, despite the fact she can lift and manipulate a city-sized spaceship because he was too heavy.
He's so dense.
He's too dense. Like Saitama, too thick. Too thick to be psychic powered. And I think, Lucas, before we go on to trivia, we can end on his fighting style. Because I'm curious about that myself, because he doesn't really have one. It says here, he's an expert hand-to-hand combatant. Despite having no formal training, Saitama is very proficient and adept at hand-to-hand combat. Thanks to his many fights with monsters and villains, he's got a lot of fighting experience. Due to his immeasurable power and boredom, he doesn't usually care about technique and makes use of flawed basic attacks. Yeah. So, Lucas, what is your favourite attack of Saitama? Because that's the list we have here. We have his normal series, which include normal punches, consecutive normal punches, two-handed consecutive normal punches.
I was going to say just consecutive normal punches.
Because he's just, I'm going to punch you multiple times. And it's like, oh God. A character called One Punch Man, punch you multiple times, you know shit's getting real.
Yeah.
And then we have like his serious moves, which include the serious punch. And I think I want to read the description of this in its entirety because it's fucking amazing.
Okay.
Serious punch. Saitama throws an extremely powerful punch. The full extent of this attack is unknown, as it has never directly hit an opponent. It was so powerful that it completely negated Boros's, and this is the attack's name, I shit you not, collapsing star roaring cannon. A beam capable of wiping out an entire planet. The shockwave from the punch alone was powerful enough to part the clouds on a global scale. What?
It's so dumb,
what?
It's amazing.
And to end on, as we often do, Lucas, would you like to hear some trivia about One Punch Man?
Hell yeah.
Okay, so we have Saitama is ranked first in character popularity polls for the manga. However, young Saitama is ranked 10th. Oh, young Saitama. Like, that means as well, by training, he got to the top. He's number 1 in popularity and strength, just by training. Due to his unimpressive appearance, many enemies and allies tend to think that he is weak at first glance. Only Carnage, Kabuto, Boros, and Orochi have sensed Saitama's true power. I think you get that with Boros, don't you? He's like, oh shit. Like, oh god, no. Saitama still performs his workout routine.
You gotta keep it up, man.
So he can punch hard enough to destroy a planet, but he still does his 100 press-ups, 100 sit-ups, and 100 squats every day. Like, even Saitama, the most powerful being on the planet, understands that you've got to maintain.
Yeah.
Physical fitness is about maintaining, not about gaining. Saitama owns a cactus. The hidden meaning behind the cactus is that it remains unchanged no matter how it's taken care of. So he owns a secret special cactus, and that's the last bit of trivia. That Saitama has a special cactus. And you know what? I think Saitama's special cactus is a good place to end this, Lucas. Don't you?
Yeah.
Saitama's special cactus.